Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode 130 of Friday Night Appointment with Fear. And this week we're going into found footage territory with Blackwater Vampire, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Wing Grace is here saying Blackwater Vampire. I'm guessing. I don't know. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yes, I recorded an audio commentary for this film. So if you're a member of the YouTube channel, you can go and listen to my audio commentary. A link is in the chat. There we go. There's a link in the chat. I will put a link in the comments afterwards. Right, so let's make sure we're going. Before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we should be live on YouTube. Fingers crossed. Yep. Oh, what you talking already? You know, because I've shown that trailer. I just put the trailer up to the music. It's saying my stream may be temporarily stopped. I think I'm going. I think we're okay, but I hate YouTube sometimes. Its algorithm is infuriating. It is. Anyway, so we're live on YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. Yes, we are. And we should be live on Twitch. Yep. He says, yes, we're live on Twitch as well. Right. Explore the description for links for stuff like merch. I'm going to do another design for Friday Night Appointment with Fear. But anyway, my books. There they are. Amazon Kindle and paperback, give me a whirl, and other stuff. Become a member, and then you get exclusive videos and early access videos, such as the audio commentaries I've been doing. What else? And other stuff. My Spotify links and Amazon Music links, etc. Right. So, Blackwater Vampire. It's from 2014. As I said, it's a found footage win. Found footage film. I'm guessing it's low budget. I don't actually know the budget for it. Let's see if it tells us. If I type it in, I think I have typed it in before. But Blackwater Vampire budget doesn't say. So fair enough. I'm guessing it's not a lot. Under $1 million, I'm gonna guess. Anyway, and it obviously stars people that you've never heard of, apart from maybe Bill Oberst Jr. You'll see his face and you'll think, oh, I've seen him in stuff. And you check on his IMDb and he's been in a million things. So I think he's the only familiar face in there. Unless you're related to the actors and actresses that are in this. And that's about it, really. That's not a lot of information. I've got the DVD. No special features on this whatsoever. Not even the trailers. Bugger all. So I can't help you. With background information. The only background information I know is it wasn't filmed in Washington. It's supposed to be set in Washington State. It's actually filmed in California at Big Bear. But never mind. Right, so anyway, I think that's it. We'll get on with it, shall we? We're not just going to watch the film. YouTube. It plays almost a blooming trailer, doesn't it? Look, it's done it again. Come up with that message. Unbelievable. Plays about a blooming trailer. I knew I should have chopped it up. I usually chop them up and move things around to get past that. But anyway. So I'll be watching it in a series of stills, and I'll tell you what's going on and give you my review of it and what I think of it as we go. Anyway. Right, so I will make myself teeny tiny down in the corner of the screen, and we will begin. I'm sure I was going to say something. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. Speaking of found footage films, I used to be really into. I still do like found footage films, but I used to be really into them. And I found my. I had a page on my website, mercuryrapids.co.uk. Link is in the description. for me, found footage stuff. And every time I watched a found footage film, I added it to my list. So here it is, the found footage phenomenon. Briefly, I even had a Facebook page for it, but that's not there anymore. So, as I said, as I watched the found footage film, I would add it to my list, but I haven't updated it for 10 years. 2015 was the last time it was updated, it says down here at the bottom. There we go, updated 2015. So it hasn't been updated for 10 years, but there's still quite a few films there. And some good ones, some not so good, but have a look at that. It's mercuryrapids.co.uk/foundfootage.htm, so give that a whirl if you want to. I don't know if this one is on there. 2040, it might be on there. What are we watching? I've forgotten. Blackwater Vampire. They're not in alphabetical order, they're in the order of seeing them. Let's have a look. So see what I said about Blackwater Vampire. I'm going to have to do a Control F to find this bugger. I'll just type vampire. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, what did I say about Blackwater Vampire? Blackwater Vampire recounts the story of a documentary film crew's exploits as they delve into the midwinter snow of the Cascade Mountains of Washington State. The leader of the team intends to somehow show that a man found guilty of 4 grisly murders is innocent. But what they find is far more terrifying than they can imagine. This is a highly enjoyable found footage movie. To say it borrows heavily from the Blair Witch Project and in one scene wreck is an understatement. Which scene is that? We'll get to it. I'm thinking now which one they're on about. Yes, I do. I remember the scene. Yes, because I did mention it in my audio commentary. It's practically, so 10 years later, I'm still thinking of the same stuff. It's practically a remake with more action and creatures chucked in at the end. That's not a criticism, by the way, because it works and bloody well too. The cast are likeable-ish. And when they get lost in the freezing wilderness with only a tent to protect them at night, the tension is palpable. They're vampire-proof tents. Except it's not. It's no secret that they encounter an actual vampire. Its face is splashed on the poster, unfortunately. There it is. There's the poster for it. And it's a great monster which seems to enjoy leaping out of the darkness, gnashing teeth and screeching. The ending is pure 70s, 80s downbeat horror gold dust. The Blackwater Vampire, just Blackwater Vampire, I'm a silly Billy, is highly recommended with a great monster, if not an entirely original execution. So there we go, that's my review. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'll see you next week. Right, anyway, so there we go. There we go. Right, we're off anyway, aren't we? Let me full screen this baby and we will get into the flick. I'm pressing the wrong button. What am I doing? There we go. There we go. RLJ Entertainment. What's this? I forgot the name of the... there we go. Ruthless Pictures. Blackwater Vampire. Right, we begin. We're watching an old police video from 2003 because what's gone on in this area, Blackwater, or the town of Fawn Skin, Fawn Skin, Fawn Skin, which is supposed to be in Washington, but it's actually in California. There's actually the town of Fawn Skin in California. Don't know why they changed it to Washington. I suggested in my audio commentary that maybe there'll be a sequel called Blackwater Vampire versus the Bigfoot. But anyway. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, right, yes. Every 10 years or so, because this is set in 2013, I think. I think it's set in 2012, whatever. Every 10 years or so, somebody's horrifically murdered. And this is the 2003 one. So you can see the policeman's getting a lay of the land, the geography and all that. I'm just going to check on this YouTube bloody thing. What's he keep saying that for? He keeps coming up with that. Warning, we've detected video in your stream belonging to someone else. Go away. I hope I'm still going. I'm going to let me check. Where's my phone? Oh, it's over there. I'll check on here. Make sure we are still going. I think we are, but I'm going to double check. Right. Make sure we are still Yes, we are. You can hear me as well. Right. Yes, we're getting the lay of the land. This is an important area that we're going to come back to 10 years later, which looks almost identical. But anyway, we're going to see a body now. They found a body. First up, though, hang on, let's go back a bit. There we go. First up, they find an item of clothing, which I'm sure we see again later on. So like 10 years later in the same place. And I was thinking, surely should be in a police evidence locker or something, but maybe it's something else, I don't know. Then they find some teeth. Hang on, where are we? No, it is here. It is here, coming up. They find some teeth, and I don't know why. Never referred to again, as far as I know. I watched this film twice yesterday, and I don't think teeth are mentioned again. Not separated from their host. Two teeth, molars apparently. And then we find the body of Millicent Barnum. Here she is. I'm guessing it's actually, I don't think it's a puppet, or whatever. I'm guessing they found a young actress who's willing to lie down in the snow in her skimpies. Don't worry, there's no nudity. There is later on. We'll have to skip over that, but it's brief. A trooper of an actress who plays Millicent Barnum. I will tell you, just bear with me. Where is Millicent Barnum? Emma Anderson. So hats off to Emma Anderson for lying down in the snow. And not do. She must have a high. What's the word? A high thingamabob for cold. Anyway. But anyway, she's quite dead, and the signs of she's been beaten, but there's also a big bite mark in her neck. There we go. Also, looks like the Fluke man from the X-Files has had a go at her, doesn't it? But it's not. It's the vampire. They're also on her leg. You may have noticed as I was looking. There we go. There's some sort of symbol etched into her skin. So there we go. So she's a victim of. They think Raymond Banks or the. There we go. On December 17th, 2012, Danielle Mason led the documentary film crew to investigate a string of murders known as the Blackwater Killings and interview Raymond Banks, the man convicted of the crimes. Apparently, he confessed to the crimes after 16 hours straight of interrogation. They mentioned that like 3 times in the film. Anyway, this is Danielle. As usual with, or is often the case with found footage films, the characters in the film have the same, main characters have the same names, like in Blair Witch Project, have the same names as their, the same first names as their characters or actual actors, whatever. So this is Danielle, whatever, I forgot what he called now, but anyway, played by Danielle Lazo. Don't know who she is. Don't know any of them. But anyway, they are getting ready because it's all, found footage. But yet, adding in little snippets like this. That's it. It's not really found footage. It's like a documentary put together from footage that was found, wasn't it? But then we get to the end and I'm thinking, well, where were this footage found? Because there's obviously other things at the end. There's things happen at the end that you think, hang on, what's going on here? But anyway, never mind. There we go. So there we go. A killing in 1972. And then 10 years ago, so they missed out 82 and 92. I don't know, does it say? 10 years later, another body was found, and in 1992, another one, and then Millicent Barnum in 2003, it said, didn't it? Not 2002, but never mind. So there we go. So she doesn't think that Raymond Banks is responsible for the killings. Because they've happened over 40 years, and I don't know how old he's supposed to be, but the actor is only like in his 40s, so he'd be like a small child when he started doing the killings. But anyway, whatever. But I don't know how old he's supposed to be. Anyway, so they're getting ready. There's Andrea Adams, the producer, who she reminds me of Amber Benson, Tara from Buffy for some reason. But anyway, they were seeing Millicent, what's her face, Barnum. We're meeting the other. There's Anthony Russell, the camera operator, and we're going to meet Robin, who's the sound guy. So anyway, so off we go. They're going to get ready. She's obsessed with sound, by the way, is Danielle. Even though they've got perfectly good sound from the cameras that they're using. But I don't know. She keep kicking off about not having good sound. But anyway, never mind. Right, so here's Rob. There he is, Robin Allen. Oh, pardon me. Apologies, I'm not feeling well today. I think I've eaten something that's disagreed with me. So if I pass out, call an ambulance. Anyway, so that's Rob. He's kind of the comedy relief. He doesn't want to go. Apparently had a decent job that he turned down to go out hiking in the freezing cold woods, where he said there were a job that he's given up to go with them that had hot girls and good food. So why? I don't know why. Maybe you were lying. Anyway, so they're on the way. They're on the way to Fawn Skin in Washington. I don't know where they're setting off from. Oh, wow. We also learned that Robin doesn't know the difference between a dolphin, a whale, and a fish. A bit of an idiot. Right, Danielle's got a crucifix there. Not that that will help her, because we learned she's kind of religious, and she's the Virgin. It does kind of follow-ish the Cabin in the Woods motif, where you've got the Virgin, the Jester. Is it Jester or Joe or whatever? Fool. The fool. Robin's kind of the fool. Anthony's the jock, I suppose. And Andrea, the producer, is the scholar. Is it scholar? I think it's scholar, isn't it? Is there supposed to be another one? I can't remember. But anyway. So anyway, they're off, and she's talking all about it, and that she even sings that Raymond Banks has become like a bogeyman, and they sing nursery rhymes about him. There we go, just ripping off Nightmare on Elm Street. Thusly, 1, 2, 3, Banks is coming for me. Yeah, like that. Anyway, so there you go. They're on the Highway 14 to Fawn Skin. Couldn't they find a different place with another name? There you go, Bloodsucker Highway, because this is the legend of the vampire that lives in the woods, local legend. So I don't know if she's going to prove the existence of the vampire or just to disprove that Raymond Banks killed those people. As with found footage, there's lots of blurriness and shaky camera. So I'm sorry, I'm not landing on steady images. Anyway, here we go. Right, they've arrived in Fawn Skin, Washington. Mailboxes. There you go. Right, so now they're talking to some hunters. By the way, they do interviews with the local townspeople, and spoilers, we see them all again at the end. She looks weird, doesn't she? Do you reckon she's like way past her heyday as an actress? Because I don't know who she is. So you can see if she's got a picture. I don't know. Trying to see if I can see any. No, she hasn't got a picture on IMDb. Anyway, never mind. But we see her again later. They're all convinced that Raymond Banks was the murderer and he deserves to be in prison. But they do say some weird things about him. Anyway, they're talking about the vampire and describing the vampire and stuff. But the townsfolk, Raymond Banks is described as that old coot, and then the Raymond Banks boy. So I'm guessing when they wrote the script, they hadn't decided if we're going to be old or young. As I said, they went with an actor in his mid-40s at the time. But anyway, right. So now they're talking to this fellow who's got an amazing face. This is where is he? Miles Cranford, great name as well as Lincoln Frazier. He describes what the vampire looks like. But anyway, There you go. All this kind of stuff, and he talks like that, and all. He's giving it all that. Anyway, right, so then they're going to go and talk to Raymond Banks now. But first he talks to the district attorney or whatever that convicted him. And he's trying to say the defendant confessed. And, it's an open and shut case. And she said, no, but he wasn't interrogated without a lawyer for 16 hours, etc. But anyway, then they're talking to the detective, this fella. This is Detective, I'll tell you in a minute. Miller, Detective Miller. And he's got a face. I said in the commentary that I'm sure I've seen him in something else, but I haven't. This is his only credit on IMDb. The actor's called Arthur Roberts. But I don't know, it looks really familiar. I'm sure I've seen him in something else, but according to IMDb, I haven't. But anyway, so he's describing how... it's a weird case, and they can't explain certain things to do with the case. The teeth marks and stuff like that, they can't explain it. And they were convicted on circumstantial evidence and his confession. That anyway was Raymond Banks. Anyway, so there we go. How do you feel about the loose ends? And he says, I don't feel good about Anyway, right, so I think now they're going to go talk to Raymond Banks. But first, we're going to get his first hint of the Blackwater vampire, although we don't see it. But they almost run it over, apparently. So talking away, there we go, tyres screeching. Blimey O'Reilly, as they say, but we don't see it. It says something ran out of the woods and they stopped the car, and then we learn that they've got a flat tyre somehow. Did the vampire burst their tyre? Is it the creeper? I don't know, but anyway. From Jeepers Creepers. But she says she's no tyre iron. She's got a jack, look, but she's no tyre iron. We find out that she does, and it's under the passenger seat. But anyway, they're all worrying because there's no tyre iron. Is that tyre bald, or is it just because it's not a very high quality video? I don't know, but anyway. Anyway, they hear a noise. There we go. Faint howling. Let's have a listen, shall we? Let's have a listen to the faint howling.
An animal, and I saw it
in a minute.
Like a figgy.
There we go.
Don't make out to be an idiot here.
Well, I mean, you're making it. I'm trying to my shadow.
What the fuck was that? Did you guys hear it?
Can't hear it. Never mind. Could just about make it out. Anyway, they look into the woods. You don't see anything, but we hear it again. We hear the howling again. Not werewolves. They're vampire, I'm guessing. Then a car pulls up, or a truck, but they don't help them. They almost run them over. So anyway, they get to their... oh, excuse me, I'm going to burp again. Oh, crack. Oh, dear. They're going to a cabin that they've rented. So they get going again. Rob's not happy. Definitely doesn't want to be there. But anyway, do we get a glimpse there? No, I don't think we did. So they get to the cabin. Here they are, and they meet the lady who's renting the cabin to them. I'm not sure who she is. Again, is she another local amateur dramatics actress? She's dolled herself up because I'm going to be in a movie. I don't know, but I don't know who she is. There's a character just called Innkeeper, played by Dee Weston. Is that her? I don't know, because she's no picture. So I don't know. But as with many of the other characters, we'll see her again at the end of the film. Anyway, so she's like hamming it up. And she's all starry-eyed at them. They ask her about Raymond Banks. And she says, he's the devil. What do you think about Raymond Banks?
What do you think about Raymond Banks?
Yeah, they do.
Right?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
He's the devil.
Hamming it up, bless her. Anyway, off she goes. So now they're in their cabin. They're going to have learn some stuff about them. So we learn that Danielle's saving herself for marriage because of her religious beliefs. So there we go. But she still F's and blinds it. And later on, this is full frontal nudity. We bought on this. We'll get past it as quickly as I can. But anyway. Right, then suddenly the camera comes on. It's the middle of the night. We see that there's an old lady standing outside their cabin, just staring at them. And then she just disappears mysteriously. We see her again several times. I think she's trying to warn them off. I don't think she's a bad guy. Because this is essentially a movie about a cult, the cult around the vampire. So everybody in the town knows about the vampire. And that they're kind of protecting it and all that stuff. So, but I don't think she's part of that. And she pays for it later. Anyway, so she's not there. And the other people saying, but she's not there. But she were there a minute ago. Well, just rewind the bloody tape and show them. Never mind. Right, next day, they're getting ready. She's banging on about sound equipment and stuff and microphones. But, it's fine. And they're going to go and interview. Oh, there we go. I'm going to say Raymond Banks, but I watched this twice yesterday and no memory whatsoever of it. Talking to Millicent's mother, and she's convinced that Raymond Banks is the murderer and all that. So she says, he's where he belongs and we should burn in hell and all that stuff. And then talking to other relatives, they're all sad and stuff. But and friends of another one of the murdered girls. So and this is Julie, super attractive. Julia, friend of Millicent Barnum. But anyway, they was talking about how nice Millicent was, and it's how sad that she was murdered, and that Raymond Banks deserves to rot in prison, etc. But anyway, right, so I'll get past that bit. Right, so they're going to go and interview him. There you go. Do you think Raymond Banks is your daughter's killer? He says, yes, of course he was. Yes. Yeah. Anyway. She reminds me, hang on, let's go back. She reminds me of, not a Tinter, but she looks a bit like, I don't know her name. The Shuttlepod show, the Connor Trinier and Dominic Keating podcast on YouTube before they did this other one. Are they still doing the other one? I can't remember, but they changed it to the Decon Chamber. She reminds me of their producer on the Shuttlepod show. I don't know her name, though, but anyway, never mind. Wingray says, Wraith, that's that Charlie Sheen film, which I saw at the cinema. Saw it at the cinema. Me and my mate went to see it. Oh, let's go see this film, Wraith. We're on at the Pictures. So we went to see it. And the next day, I went into the local video rental store, because this is back in the 80s, the video rent, and it was there on the shelf to be rented. I could have just rented it and watched it at home, but never mind. Right, where were we? Right, doing that. Right, there we go. They're talking to Raymond Banks in prison. There we go. And there he is. I forgot his name now. The actor's name. Bill Oberst Jr. I'm guessing named after his father. They're talking to him, and he's kind of saying that he's kind of a conspiracy person. He's saying it's all, the townspeople. They left the other show. I guess there was some drama behind the scenes. I don't know. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but they left without telling the producer, so something probably happened. Where were we? I was talking about Wraith, the puncture mark, the on the neck. It looks a bit like a Wraith handprint. Is that what you're on about? Are you a bit? No, never mind. Where were we? So I'm all a dither, not feeling too well. I'm a bit more a dither than normal. Let's make sure we're still going. Keeps coming up with that. Go away. Where were we? All right, yes. So it's saying that the townsfolk know all about what really happened. He says he didn't kill her and all that. He's got one of them weird thumbs, look, that bends the wrong way. But anyway, so he ends up biting his fingers, Wingrave says, no issues on my end, so thank goodness for that. He ends up biting his fingers, drawing blood, and he draws the symbol that we saw on the leg of one of the victims. He draws that on the glass. But first he's saying, they're always putting him in the hole and stuff like that. And look, somebody's tried to cut his throat in prison and all that stuff. They're drugging him, etc. There we go. He puts that on the glass and before they drag him off. And she doesn't seem to know what it is, but yet she's seen all the photos and stuff. But never mind. He says, what did he do on the glass? He says, he drew symbols. No, he drew a symbol. But anyway. Right, so they're going to head out into the woods now. They're going to go all Blair Witch and head out into the woods to see what's going on after a night at the cabin. Right, so off they go. It's the next day. Again, I said this in the audio commentary. It's set in 2012, sorry, set in 2012. They've not got cell phones, mobile phones, whatever you want to call them. They haven't got a GPS thing. All those things were available back then. I had a car sat nav back then. But they're going into the wilds of Washington State without these sorts of things. They never mention it. They never mention that, no signal or the sat nav's not working or the GPS isn't working or whatever. Why didn't they even mention it? They don't even mention it. They just go into the woods and it all goes wrong. Anyway, Rob is scared and he's got a bad feeling about this and all that. But anyway, off they go. Laughing and smiling and having fun, apart from Rob. But anyway, into the snowy woods they go, falling over and having fun. But then they find trees that have got that symbol painted on. And they find some more later. They've gone to Raymond Banks' cabin. This is the cabin where he used to live. Apparently locals sort of like ganged up on him and dragged him out, and the police arrested him and all that, and that's when he confessed. But the breaking in and seeing I don't know what that is. Is that a dead animal? Or is it I don't know. It's supposed to be like a dead possum. It looks like a stuffed toy, doesn't it? Maybe it is. I don't know. So looking around, they find some a news clipping somewhere. Where is it? I've gone past it. Might not show it yet. And stuff like that. We don't see a lot. It's showing that they've got night vision cameras. There we go, the news clipping. Monster still talks Blackwater. Oh, stalks Blackwater. But anyway, so she does a little piece to camera about Raymond Banks. The locals basically turned against him, and then he confessed after 16 hours, a quickie trial, 2-week trial, and he's been incarcerated. He's going to get the electric chair or whatever. It's going to be put to an end in a couple of weeks. Anyway, right. So anyway, off they go. They're going to go to where Millicent Barnum were found now, so they've got to find that. They've also got a normal map, a paper map, and a compass that they're using to find their way. As I said, it's 2012. Don't they have a GPS? Don't know. Maybe they haven't got much money. Rob's fallen in the stream and his headphones have got wet. And then Anthony says, "What did you slip on?" About 80 bazillion tons of snow and ice. Stupid man. Anyway. They're going to camp up now. It's getting dark. And camp up, get out there. Very flimsy looking tent. There it is. Eventually they all pile in this one tent. But so anyway. And then I forgot her name. Andrea tells a spooky story, which I think is the spookiest thing in the film, to be completely honest. And I wonder if it's I wonder if it's a story, because she tells it as though it's a personal story. Maybe she's just a really good actress, I don't know, but as though it's something that actually happened to her as a kid. But she's saying, she she saw like a face in her room. I'm getting chills now. She saw a face in her room that had kind of like fangs, and she hid from it. And when she looked again, it were gone. And that, it kind of resonates with me because that happened with me as a kid. I didn't see a face; I saw a figure twice. Different houses, different figures, but and I hid under the covers, and then when I looked again, it were gone. But she had a similar thing. She had a similar thing that happened to her. There you go. It's talking about it there. Then distant growling, dun dun dun. I think the one is it a bear or whatever. I don't know. But they look out, they don't see anything. But I think they do see. Or it could be next morning. I don't know. Or is it tonight? I can't remember. Don't know how they don't see it. I think when they look out now. There we go. Somebody's painted that symbol on their tent. I don't know why they decided on that particular symbol. I don't know. But what's that got to do with vampires? I have no idea. But it's obviously a cult symbol, in it? But there we go. Somebody's painted that on their tent. So obviously somebody knows that they're there. So Rob's obviously freaked out. Anyway, they carry on. Rob's putting arrows in the snow. So they can find a way back. There he is doing that. And I think Anthony says, "What if it snows?" Which is a fair point. But anyway, so off they go. They carry on. There does another one. There we go. They find these other trees with this symbol on. And excuse me. I wonder if these, are the CG, the CG these, or have they actually gone and painted? Because you know what forestry people are like. I'm sure this is like a forestry area or a national park or something like that. They don't like people scrawling or carving into trees, do they? So unless it's wash off, they're able to wash it off. I don't know, but it could be CG for all I know. Because there's a bit of CG in it. But anyway, they find those symbols on the trees. They're freaking out about that because obviously they found that symbol on the tent, and they're saying they obviously know that we're here, and they're trying to scare us off and all that stuff. Lego says it's probably some kind of cult, which it is. Anyway, so they're carrying on. I think they get a bit turned around. Yes, they ended up going round in a big circle because they come across one of Rob's arrows. So she's saying, "Oh, I'm not sure where we are. We've gone in a big circle." And then she says to Rob, "If it wasn't for your stupid arrows, we wouldn't have known we've gone in a big circle." And he says, "Great logic there." But anyway, so they carry on. She says she knows. But then suddenly they see the old woman again, who kind of looks like James May from Top Gear and Grand Tour, but never mind. From a distance. She's suddenly there in the middle of the woods. Saying, "What's a 75-year-old woman following us in the woods for?" But anyway, as I said, I think she's trying to protect him. We get to that right at the end. Anyway, so they carry on. I think they're going to camp out again. Oh, I have another argument because they don't know where they are. But anyway, they're behind schedule. Right, so there we go. They're in the tent again. They hear more howling. So they wake up, and I think they see a figure this time. They go outside. They see a figure in the snow. But I'm not sure what the figure is. Is it a person? There we go. Is it a person? It seems to be like shuffling about. There you go. You see it like shuffling about. But I don't know if is it that old woman? Is it the vampire? Is it a cult member? I don't know. I suspect it might be that old woman. I'm not sure, but nothing comes of it. Anyway. I've also learned that Rob is asthmatic. Obviously, doesn't keep his inhaler in his pocket. So he's having an attack. They're scrambling about looking for his inhaler, but they find it and he's fine. But anyway, so right, so they're nearly there. Where I forgot her name now. Millicent Barnum were found. They do eventually get there, but Rob has a word with Anthony out of earshot from the girls, saying he wants to turn back, he wants to go. So, but Anthony says, "No, we're nearly there now, and then if we don't get there, soon, we'll turn back." And he says, "Come on, we'll be all right." So anyway, but this is Rob's decided he's buggering off. Rob has got the map, by the way. I forgot to mention that. If they want the map, they ask Rob for it. So he's the one holding on to the map for some reason. Anyway, so they've arrived at the place where Millicent Barnum was found. There we go. We see those rocks that we saw at the beginning. And so there we see. Hang on, where are we? Where is it going to show it? There we go. Is that the thing that we saw at the beginning? They said it was like from a blouse or a t-shirt. I thought, is that? Surely that should be in a police, evidence bag in a file somewhere. Or maybe it's just something else. I don't know. Or is it? Oh no, it's a rubber glove. It's a glove, isn't it? It's a glove. There's another one there, isn't there? Oh, so it's probably a police glove, isn't it? Probably. Whatever. And it's a police tape. There we go. Right, so she's moaning about, because Rob's disappeared. I said, where's Rob? Don't know. And she says, what were you talking about? Nothing. Says, he's run up, he's got the map. But so they have a look round for him. They can't find him. They don't know where he is. She's moaning about he was the sound guy, so the sound's going to be rubbish, even though they've got perfectly good sound all the time in the cameras, even when they're miles away, because they'll perfectly hear them. But never mind. So she does a bit of a bit to camera, talking about all this stuff that we've already heard. The head was severed from her torso, never being found, and we still don't see it. But never mind. It's like they're setting something up there, isn't it? They don't. But anyway, so here we go. So they're showing that, and then they've got to go looking for Rob now. They've got that bit down, but then they find this rock with blood on it, with fake blood splattered about. I'm going to make sure we're still going. Stop doing that. Yeah, we are. With fake blood splattered about. Say, is it Rob's blood? And they say, no, it can't be. There ain't enough and all that stuff. But anyway, so now they're worried. They should have shown a couple of teeth, shouldn't they? Like we saw at the beginning with Millicent Barnum, and like they did in Blair Witch. They found one of those characters' teeth, didn't they? They found some teeth. But anyway, but they can't find him, so they're going to have to camp because they're losing the light. Danielle wants to set off back. We've got to get back now. Says we can't. It'll be dark in like 20 minutes. So they're camping out. And saying he might be back at the car. But anyway, that night something. I think something. I think they hear Rob screaming. That's it. They go out looking for him. And this is where we're going to get to see the vampire, I think, in a minute. They're looking in the trees. This is where we get his first glimpse. Is it? We're going to see. There it is. Our first glimpse of the Blackwater vampire. Cool, eh? Has it got wings? It looks to have. I don't think we see any wings, but then we get a close-up of it. There he is. In all his glory. So they're running from that vampire now for the rest of the film. For some reason, they get back in there. They must think it's a vampire-proof tent. But it doesn't offer them much safety because the vampire just sticks its head in any second now. Hang on. It just its head appears at the door. There it is. So they go running out, all running off. Oh, and Danielle gets dragged off. We see her get dragged off. There she is. She's being dragged off by the vampire. And Andrea obviously wants to go and find her. I'm trying to land on not a blurry bit. Andrea wants to go after to save her. And Anthony's saying, no, let's go. I'm grabbing my stuff and I'm heading in the opposite direction. And I suggest you do too. So Andrea goes with him. We can still hear Danielle screaming. But then they see some flashlights in the woods in a minute. Or is that the next night? I can't remember. That might be the next night. Because now, because obviously Dawn's arrived. And they see, ooh, that was close, wasn't it? They see Danielle there in a bit of full frontal nudity out of nowhere in the snow. What is it with this director, Evan Trammell, putting scantily clad women naked in the snow? But anyway, so they find Danielle and she seems okay. There she is, and they put some clothes, but she's nude. Put some clothes on her and all that. But see, she's got bite marks and scratches and stuff. But that's not all that's up with her. Anyway, so they sort her out and they set off. It's obviously there's something wrong with her. She's not well. She keeps stumbling and she's holding her stomach like that. And then she starts like vomiting blood in a minute. Oh, cracky. I feel like I'm going to be doing that in a minute. But anyway, so she's not going to be well. And here we go. Is it this? There we go. She says, there's something inside me. And she pulls her top up, and then we see that there's something bulging in her stomach. I'm not sure. Is it CG or is it a prosthetic? I'm not sure. It's probably CG, isn't it? But it looks cool. It looks cool. However they've done it. As you can see, that she's got something inside her. Is it a prosthetic? Can we see the edge of it there? I think it might be. Yeah. But he's saying, we've got to leave her behind. And Andrew said, we can't. Anyway, so they carry on. There we go. And I think they end up. Here we go. She starts. Oh yes, of course, yes. She's slowing them down, and Anthony's saying, "I'm going to go off ahead, and then I'll send help." So I'm going. Maybe get a coffee. I don't know. And then he turns round. Obviously, they don't notice it. They're looking at him, but they don't say behind you, because behind him is that the vampire's there, hanging upside down next to a tree. That's where Anthony exits the movie. He gets got. There we see more of that fake blood that's splattering it about, and we see his hand flops down. A bloodied hand flops down, and then it cuts to black. Now I don't know if Danielle pops up next on camera, and so did she pick up Anthony's camera, this camera that we're here, or did she have her own? I don't know, but anyway, there you go. She pops up now. She's doing a Heather. Is it Heather? I think it is, isn't it? Heather from Blair Witch scene. The scene where she's all snotting and crying. She's doing that, but without the snot and tears. Saying she's sorry and there's something in her and she's scared and all that. Then they see hunters and stuff surrounding them. And I think it's the ones that we've seen earlier and some of the townspeople. So they go running off and then suddenly it's night again. And we see flashlights and stuff. The hunters are looking for them. And then they turn round. I think did they see the vampire again? I think they might do. I can't remember. Daniel's screaming. Yes, they get separated. Oh, there we go. The vampire, yes, pops up again. And there, Andrea falls down and finds the camera. I thought she was getting got here, but she isn't. And she stands up, and I think she sees that old lady appears in front of her. There she is. That's the old lady. And she points to a cabin that's just appeared out of nowhere. Is it Raymond Banks's cabin, or is it a different one? I'm not sure. But she goes into this cabin, but the vampire is still lurking. And she looks out the window, and she sees the vampire. Hang on a minute. She looks out the window, sees the vampires getting the old woman. There we go. So the old woman has tried to save Andrea. Don't know where Danielle is. Paid for it with her life. So the vampire's got her. So now Andrea's looking. This is the bit that's a bit like Wreck, in Wreck at the end when Angela is it Angela? I think it is, isn't it? Is using the night vision camera and watching the scary creature lurching about. This is like that, where she's watching the vampire moving about in the darkness and all that stuff. So there we go. And then she kind of just bursts out of because the vampire appears and screeches at her. And so she must just like burst out of the shack, running off into the back into the woods. And I was like imagining there's like a big Andrea-shaped hole in the wall because she just like went. You just hear this, and she just bursts out of the shack. But anyway. And then she finds Andrea. So she's then Andrea seems fine. But then, not Andrea, she finds Danielle. Danielle seems fine. But then Andrea gets got in a minute. There we go. Andrea gets got by the vampire, gumming her to death. They can't see his teeth. Never mind. So that's Andrea done for. Danielle goes running off, but she gets got by by the cult members, and they're holding her down. And first of all, I think, what's going on here? But it turns out she's about to give birth. Because I thought that something else was going to go on here, but no, she's giving birth out in the snow. But we don't see anything. But we just hear her screaming, and then somebody saying, "I can see it," and then it's squelching. The subtitle says squelching. You hear squelchy noises, and then I think we hear like a baby, like a snuffling cry. We can all imagine what's happening. So I'm guessing what's happened to her. Obviously, the vampire somehow impregnated her, hasn't he, somehow. Maybe it's with the bite, maybe it's other. But she was naked when they found her, wasn't she? But I'm guessing that because she was a virgin, that's the reason she's been chosen for this honour. But anyway, then suddenly the camera goes to black, and then suddenly we're back on, and it's a year later because there's a birthday cake. Happy birthday, one. So it's a year later, and then we see that that's her that rented them the cabin. We see some of the other people from the village. That weird woman that we're on about. But then we see there's Danielle there, so she's still around. She didn't die giving birth. But we're going to see the baby crying, but Danielle looks kind of spaced out. But then we see the baby. A nice little puppet, kind of reminiscent. There it is. Kind of reminiscent of the V baby, V the series back in the 80s, where she gave birth to a little alien lizard baby. Kind of reminiscent of that, isn't it? But kind of cool. So she's giving birth to a little vampire baby. But there we go. And then it ends. And that's the end of Blackwater Vampire. It's fun. I like it. It's fun. It's a straightforward, no nonsense found footage film. It doesn't make an entire, really make sense, particularly that ending, because obviously found footage is supposed to be footage that has been found, and the authorities are showing us it to get more information. That's what usually happens, isn't it? But anyway, we'll pause on that. But this kind of suggests that they've got the footage, the cult. So as the cult release this, it's kind of a join our cult, and you can also have a baby vampire if you're a virgin. The crucifix didn't do her any good, did it? Not that sort of vampire, it seems. But anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Blackwater Vampire. A fun flick, a fun found footage flick. One of the better ones, in my opinion. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a hoot. It's a hoot, and it's decently acted with some. The vampire's a good monster. If I can land on him, probably can't. But never mind. Yeah, it's a good monster. So obviously the probably the majority of the budget probably went on the vampire, who's played by Brandon Despain. Cool name. I think he's played monsters in other things. If you click on his IMDb, he's got a list, and it's a lot of horror stuff. So I think he plays monsters generally. But yeah, and a nice little puppet at the end. I appreciate stuff like that. So there we go. That's the end of that. Right. So a quick one tonight. But we will leave it there. As I said, maybe they'll do a sequel sometime. Or maybe there's one already out there. Blackwater Vampire versus Bigfoot. It's in Washington State, after all. But anyway, if you want to watch it, it's probably on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube to rent or buy, but maybe if you just search for it, it might be on YouTube in its entirety. I don't know. I never thought to check. It's also on Amazon, and you can get the DVD. I don't know if there's a Blu-ray out. Let's have a look. Bear with me. No, I think it's just out on on DVD and digital. Yeah, there's. Hang on. No, there is a Blu-ray out. There is a Blu-ray. Go away. You. Oh yes, there's a Blu-ray. Yes. I think this is the German site I'm looking at here. It's €20. I wonder if there's any special features on. Bet there ain't. Doesn't seem to be. Don't say anything there. Not that I can speak or read German. Dry gross beer bitter. That's German, I know. Let's have a look on Amazon. See if there's anything on Amazon. There's the DVD. Oh, there we go. There's the blue. I'm not paying that. I was just showing the German version. £78 on Amazon UK for the Blu-ray. I don't think so, mate. Yeah, you can get it on Prime Video. But I don't think there's any special features on the Blu-ray either. Anyway, never mind. Right, so we're done. We'll leave it there. What's coming up next? What day are we on? Friday. I don't know if I'm doing anything Sunday. We'll see. I might draw a picture. I haven't drawn a picture for a while. We'll see. Monday, this week's Magnificent Mondays. We're heading into the Alien franchise, and we're doing Aliens. I didn't know whether to do Aliens as a Magnificent Monday or a Friday Night Appointment with Fear, because it's an action film, but it's also got horrific bits in it. I decided doing it as a Magnificent Mondays because it's more of an action film, isn't it? So we're doing Aliens Special Edition on Monday, and then on Wednesday, it might be season 2 of Deep Space Nine. Going through each episode. If I finish it, I don't think I'm actually going to get round to finishing it. If not, we'll do 1993, my top 5 favourite films of 1993. But on Friday, I'm starting off a series. We're going to look at Hammer House of Horror, the TV show from 1980. We're going to start that on Friday with the first 2 episodes, Witching Time and I forgot the name, the 13th something or other. I've forgotten the name of it. Hang on, I've got it here somewhere. Where are we? 13th reunion. So the Witching Time and 13th reunion for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next 6 weeks, we'll be doing Hammer House of Horror. 2 episodes a night. I think the last thing we'll do 3 episodes because there's 13, so there's an odd number. But so that's what's coming up. Also, after that, we'll do Cockneys versus Zombies, which is a lot of fun. I'll do it as a Friday Night Appointment with Fear, but it is actually a comedy. But whatever. Or shall I do it at Magnificent Mondays? I'll do it as a Magnificent Monday. Anyway. Right, so we're done. We'll leave it there. Thanks, Win Grace, for keeping me company while I talk about that. As I said, another a quickie one. That one, wasn't it? Found footage films are generally easy to get through out of the course. Plus, I don't know a lot about this one. So, anyway. So we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. And I'll go and be ill in my chair over there, watching telly, watching Deep Space Nine. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. Don't have nightmares. Hang on, where's my video? Where are we? Where is it? There it is. Don't have nightmares. Oh no, I won't play that. I'll play the traditional outro. I got into trouble last time, didn't I? Don't have nightmares, and until next time, I'll say there.